Hey, Scott Spreitzer here, and he's Doug Upstone. We are DocSports.com. We got the weekend series in Northern California between the Red Sox and the A's. Boston begins a 6-game West Coast swing. You know what, Doug? We talked about the Yankees in another video for this weekend, and I mentioned that every time you think this team might finally be, busting out a little bit or playing to the hype that they received before the season began, they falter. Red Sox are just the opposite. I mean, few expected this team to be playing nearly .620 baseball at this point of the season, and they just keep it on. They're especially tough on the road, 24-14. They won their 7th in a row on Thursday, closing out the homestand on Thursday by scoring a couple of touchdowns against the Kansas City Royals. Now, Boston's going to face Montes, Irvin, Caprillion. Irvin's a lefty, while the other two are righties. Boston hits both, by the way, a little bit better against righties. But, Doug, they'll start Eduardo Rodriguez on Friday. He's been a mess for most of his last 9 starts, 7.29 ERA. Garrett Richards goes on Saturday, 7.16 ERA in the month of June. And Nick Pivetta, 5.40 ERA in the month of June, goes on Sunday. It's crazy to hear these ERAs by the starting rotation, yet they've won 5 straight Rodriguez starts. They've won 4 of Richards' last 5 starts. I don't know, man. Can they keep this up? Keep putting them in the win column in Oakland?
Yeah, now earlier the Oakland took 2 out of 3 in Boston. Now Boston, has played better at home recently. Like I said, they've been tremendous all season on the road. So it's really an interesting dynamic here. Rodriguez, I don't know what it is about this guy. He's like a good luck charm. I mean, it doesn't matter if he really pitches bad or good. They just seem to win 60+% of his games. And, it's the same thing this year. So, you always have to wonder. And right now, the Red Sox offense is really churning. You mentioned the 2 touchdowns and and 1 2-point conversion against Kansas City on Thursday. They're just scoring a lot of runs. I mean, that's got to put them, I think, like over 6 in their last 7. 6 runs per game in their last 7 contests. So there's a lot to like about what they're doing here. Now, Oakland's offense has been unsteady recently, and the biggest problem is, they don't have enough outfielders that can produce. I mean, just the fact. I mean, Tony Kemp's a nice player, but he's not an everyday player, by any stretch. And sure. I cannot believe they would not go after Joey Gallo, to be perfectly honest. Whom they're actually, as we're doing this video, they're playing Texas right now. And, it makes all the sense in the world for them to go after them to improve their team. Because, I mean, they do a lot of other things well. Now in that first game, I guess, Montas has not pitched well either recently. So I would probably lean with Rodriguez only because of the offense. The second game, I mentioned Richards and Irvin. Both teams actually pitch much better on the road than they do at home. So that probably is enough for me to take Boston along with their road record. And, in the last one, you mentioned Pivetta. He's back to normal with 5.4 ERA. They lost 4 out of 6 in June. I think his ERA in May was 4.80. So we knew it was a mirage in April. Okay, it's kind of back to normal. So I'm thinking just possibly a lean with Boston for the series. I'd like them maybe taking the first 2 games, Scott. Now, I know you've been going well in baseball. Why don't you tell everybody, what you've been doing in baseball, and then you can give your picks as to what's going to go on with this series.
We're in a real nice run. We continue to be up in that 4,400 to 5,000 range on our run. We had a 7-star, a rare 7-star in baseball for me so far this season. I think I've had 4 or 5. But we had one a couple of days ago. It was a real nice, easy winner. Toronto 9-3 on the runs line over Seattle. And I'm going to have one going this weekend. And I wanted to mention that we are now 54-28 is our current multi-year run with my 7-star baseball plays. So we'll look to make it 55-28 this weekend with that 7-star play. We didn't get that 8-star. Last week we talked in the videos. I was hoping for an 8-star play. I was all set and ready to go. And I said, boy, if we get what we want, we're going to have an 8-star play this weekend. And the rains came and it changed the pitching matchups. It reduced 9-inning games to 7-inning games and doubleheaders and all that kind of wacky stuff. So we couldn't, but did cash the 7-star. So yeah, I'm going to tell everybody about that $60 free account. They can use that if they're not yet a member, and then jump on and use it for our plays this week in our daily packages, Doug. And why don't you tell everybody what you got going? I know you've had a very nice baseball first week of May, and as far as I know, it's continued ever since.
Yeah, it's been it's been amazing. I mean, I know you've had streaks like this before, and I have as well. But 60, 65, and 64 and 35 last however many plays that is. But I think it's
That would be
yeah, early
99.
May. Yeah, since early May, and it just continues to go. And we're up almost 11,000. Or I'm almost up 11,000 the in units right now. So it has been great. I've been chasing Doc Sports, who has been the leader in baseball almost the entire season. So it's keeps the motivation going. When you're what was it, Avis with OJ Simpson? We try harder because we're number two. So that's the motivation there to keep it going. But yeah, it's been great, from that standpoint, Scott. And like I said, I'll have a little bit of a lean here with Boston, to take the series. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think we're in for some runs on Friday. Although the total's 8.5, and I understand that because of the dimensions at Oakland, with all that foul territory, all that kind of stuff. But the last six Rodriguez starts, Boston and their opponents have scored 11, 14, 18, 20, 10, and 13 runs. It's a little bit of run scoring there. That's I got to tell you, I mean, that's Boston and their opponents, but they're outscoring the Raiders in some of those games here in Las Vegas. As far as Oakland is concerned, their opponents average over 10 runs per game. They and their opponents over 10 runs per game. In Montes' last five starts, both pins are pretty good. So it might be one of those decisions where I go first 5 innings on that over. The rest of the series, I just got to see what happens, Doug, and see what happens with the bullpens on Friday, because we may find advantages on Saturday and Sunday for one team based on the rest of their workload regarding the pins. And again, I think you're going to see relief staffs getting work on Friday. But yeah, for now, we're doing this on Thursday afternoon. I'm thinking that the Friday game looks like a decent shot at the over. These teams are definitely going to have to go against current form, along with the starting pitchers, if it's not going to go over that total. That, again, right now is 8.5. And again, I might go first 5 with that.
That's like a great play, Scott. And you're right, though. The other two games, they're iffy. They're close, they're tight. Got some things going there. So yeah, so it's another exciting weekend of baseball certainly coming up, and got the 4th of July. I even trotted out the red, white, and blue shirt just for the occasion. So we'll see if we can have some fun this weekend and get some winners. And even a lot of you are going to be off on the 5th of July, and Scott and I won't be. We'll be working, but we're going to try and deliver some winners on that day too.
And I wanted to mention, it's not just about baseball. I mean, 90 and 65 in the WNBA is 58% with 155 plays. You notice I didn't ask Upstone for the math on that. I just did it myself. I told him it's not fair to Doug. I told him before the video there would be no math. And as far as everything else, we will have 4th of July action in NASCAR. 61 and 33 is the current run there. So whole lot to choose from this weekend. There's baseball and there's everything else. And that $60 free account, if you look below the video, you click on that link. And if you're not yet a member at DocSports.com, you can use those $60 on any of Doug's daily packages, any of mine, anybody else on the roster at DocSports.com. Pretty cool way to give DocSports.com a trial run if you've not yet done so. He's Doug Upstone. I'm Scott Spreitzer. Have a safe and enjoyable Independence weekend. Most importantly, let's put him in the win column.